How much money can you earn with a Krispy Kreme franchise? How much does it cost to open a Krispy Kreme? Is owning a Krispy Kreme a good investment? We're going to look at that today, as well as some dirt on the mega franchise today on Franchise City. Big thanks to Lisa H. for this video review request. $100 cash is on its way to you. Please leave your requests for franchise reviews down below, and the comment that gets the highest number of votes by February 1st, 2020 is going to receive $100 in cash as well. So Krispy Kreme was founded by Vernon Rudolph way back in 1937. He bought a unique recipe. He started off with only $25 in a rented building in Winston Salem, North Carolina. Oddly enough, he moved there because his favorite cigarette company, which was Camel brands, was also headquartered there. Now, after he rented his location, he had no money left. He had to convince a convenience store owner to lend him money to make the first batch of donuts. Now, at the time, Krispy Kreme, they sold mostly to convenience stores directly, but they'd also sell to customers who happened to walk in between midnight and 4 a.m. Now, the company grew over the years. It was sold to Beatrice Foods in the 70s, and they actually sold products like soap at Krispy Kreme locations. They also had the nerve to change the original donut recipe. Now, in 1982, a group of unhappy franchisees banded together. They took back the company. The company went public in 2000, and by 2002, they were making 5 million donuts every single day. They had 250 stores in 37 states and Canada. Now, shortly after going public, Krispy Kreme got into a bit of trouble for an accounting scandal. The stock plummeted eventually from a high of $50 to $4 due to slumping sales and problems with growing their franchise chain. To address the slumping sales, executives at Krispy used some sleight of hand, meaning they fibbed about some of the numbers to inflate the stock prices. They got caught. They were taken to task by the SEC. They, of course, got a little slap on the wrist. 3 former executives paid a total of $150,000 in fines and about $632,000 in ill-gotten gains and interest. Krispy Kreme was also allegedly channel stuffing, and that means head office would send twice the amount of regular product shipments to their franchisees just so they could make the numbers for the month. Franchisees also complained about questionable transactions in the buybacks of franchises, including those that were operated by company insiders. And while corporate was doing okay over the years, many individual stores and multi-unit owners actually filed for bankruptcy as the revenues were just not that impressive. Now, in 2015, Krispy Kreme in the UK started its Krispy Kreme Club on Wednesdays. Unfortunately, the initials for this event caused an immediate backlash, as the 3 letters, in the USA anyway, also belong to a not so popular group. Now, after realizing their mistake, they ended up changing the last K to a C, and the Krispy Kreme Club lived on with a C on club. Now, ironically, in 2016, Krispy Kreme was purchased by Jab Holdings for $1.35 billion. Now, this is the Reimann family, who happens to be the second richest family in Germany, major stakeholders in many companies, including Panera Bread, and has been very controversial due to a family history with the Third Reich. In their defense, it was the family that requested that investigation. They felt terrible about what their ancestors had done and actually donated millions of dollars to charity after they found out. Krispy Kreme was sued back in 2016 for $5 million by a customer who claims to have suffered economic harm. Irina Agajanian commenced a class action suit against the company for using words such as blueberry and maple in the names of donuts when the donuts do not actually contain these ingredients. Now, the case asked for $1,000 in damages for any individual who had to suffer paying for a donut and not actually getting any real blueberry or. But is Krispy Kreme franchise a good investment today? Let's take a look. So to open up a Krispy Kreme location, it's going to cost you between $1.2 to $2.7 million for a factory store, $550,000 to $1.5 million for a tunnel oven shop, $440,000 to $1.2 million for a fresh shop, and $200,000 to $453,000 for a box shop, $1.6 million to $4.1 million for a commissary facility. Now, if you're wondering what those are and you're interested in investing in a franchise, give Franchise City a call. We can explain what those mean. Royalties at Krispy Kreme are pretty low at 4.5%, but keep in mind this is paid on your net sales, not your gross. You're going to also pay up to a 2% brand fund, up to a 1% ad placement fund, a minimum of 2.5% on local advertising, and up to 3% for national advertising. And that can end up being as high as 13%. As a Krispy Kreme owner, you're not going to receive territory protection. You don't get an exclusive territory. And here in the fine print of their FDD, it states you will not have exclusive territory. So you could face competition from corporate stores or other franchisees if they open nearby. But how much can a Krispy Kreme franchise owner earn? That's a good question. And franchises have the ability to list their revenues in what's called the Item 19 in their disclosure documentation. So they don't have to do this, but when they do, it is a positive sign that they have nothing to hide and they're actually proud of their numbers. Now, Krispy Kreme does not list any financial data in their Item 19, and this is a bit of a red flag. And another concern is that Krispy Kreme indicates a net closure of 13 franchise stores last year, and we counted a total of 27 franchisees who were either reacquired by the company or had to close their doors. Now, from a high-level perspective, Krispy Kreme may have continued market challenges as more people are adopting healthier lifestyles, and the media continues to identify sugar as the main contributor in weight gain and ill health. Back in 2004, Krispy had already blamed the low-carb trends for their slumping sales. Today, there are arguably many more health-conscious buyers, and that trend is continuing, turning away from sugar. So to have 100% market focus on one single product could leave them exposed to fickle buyer sentiment. Now, despite that, Krispy Kreme plans to open 450 shops globally by the end of 2022. Now, stores in certain countries, such as Ireland, have met with phenomenal success. They posted revenues of 3.86 million euros annual revenue in 2018. Other countries, such as Australia, have not done quite so well. So is Krispy Kreme a good investment? That's up to you to decide. If you need help researching the best franchise, our service is always free to qualified buyers. You can learn more by clicking here. And please leave your franchise review request below for a chance at $100. Also, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.
You are listening to Franchise City, a better way to buy franchise.